So for this video, I am finally going to make the recipe on one of these soup mugs. You guys have seen me pick these up anytime I see them over the last 2 years. I have finally held on to one of them long enough to where I can do a thrifted treat. So let's get started.
Hello and welcome to Thrifted Treats, a series where I make the recipes found on the items I thrift and see if they're any good or just decoration. If you are new here, I'm Heroine Bob. Thank you for joining us today. Let's get started.
Unfortunately, this chicken soup mug doesn't really have anything but the ingredients on it. So I'm guessing they are assuming that you already know how to make food, which is a good assumption for me because I do know how to make food. So let's see, one small chicken. I'm assuming that I'm not going to have Gordon Ramsay yell at me for putting in a raw chicken. So I think we're gonna make the small chicken first using the salt and pepper and fresh herbs. I'm gonna do snip, snip, snip. This, unfortunately, the doggo's knocked out of the ground, so it's just kind of chilling here in the kitchen until it dies. But this is basil. It's a big basil. So I'm gonna pull some of these off as well. And whenever you cut fresh herbs, I do recommend submersing them in water for about 15 minutes so that way all the buggies can get off of it, because you never know what little tiny things are living in your herbs. So whenever you're roasting a chicken, it's recommended that you have an acid and an oil. So my acid is going to be Jack's Cider, which is a cidery in Pennsylvania. Also very delicious. There is a place called Beervana near the boys' house, and you can just fill a growler there for pretty inexpensively, and they have different stuff on tap all the time, and it's great. For my oil, I am actually going to use bacon grease from bacon I made this morning. You can use whatever you want. Butter would probably work best, but to me, bacon makes everything better. And this is my kitchen scraps. This is gonna go in the compost later. Once I'm done making the chicken. So we're gonna rub the chicken down with this and pour over some of the Jacks. First, we're gonna pour some Jacks on here. Just kind of make sure the whole chicken gets it. Yeah. And then actually, before I rub this down in bacon grease, I'm going to insert the herbs. Okay, I had to get him to help me, so, because I can't violate the chicken. I can't violate the chicken and also have film. So, most people make the mistake of putting herbs only on the outside of the chicken, when in fact, I would recommend putting the herbs inside the chicken, because that means that it's actually in the chicken instead of just on the skin. So I'm gonna stuff this rosemary into the chicken. Just like this. Over. I've already made holes in here while I was waiting for him, so this may take a little bit longer for you if you're not used to it, but you just kind of work your way in here, and this will get the thigh and the drumstick once you work that stem in there. Same with this end. Gotta make sure you get both thighs. There you go. Now you could also put some in here in the wings. So for that, I'm actually going to remove this from the stem and just shove it in the side here. Both sides. There's the hole. That's what she said. Turn it over, and then we're gonna get inside these little legs here. Again, I'm gonna pull some of this off. Just stuff it in. Dog is very interested in what is happening right now. Hi, baby boy. I'm gonna stick the basil in there. On here. Just said fresh herbs. These are the fresh herbs that I have. Don't have any. Come on. I'm gonna turn the chicken around. Stick that in there. He's just staring at me. And now I'm going to slather bacon grease on this. It's thankfully cold enough to where it's not going to burn me, but also still not solid. Rub it on the outside here. And again, you can use butter. You don't have to use bacon grease if dietary or religious restrictions apply. But I like bacon grease. Doggos also like bacon grease. And don't worry, I'm going to clean the pan. So I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, you're using raw chicken and you're touching the pan. I'm going to clean the pan. It's fine. Alright, so this is now rubbed down in bacon grease and up in there. And then now I'm going to sprinkle salt and pepper all over it and then throw it in the oven. The oven is currently preheated at 350 and I have to cook it 20 minutes per pound. And this is a 4.5 pound chicken, so that means I'm going to have this in there for 1 hour and like 20-25 minutes depending on how it looks. And of course you should check it every 30 minutes just to make sure, and also rotate the chicken so it'll crisp up on both sides. Okay, so I gotta turn the chicken now so it can crisp up on both sides. Stick this all the way in here and turn it around. This is really hard to do with one hand, just letting y'all know that. Got a crispy one side. Stick it back in for another 15 minutes. And then check the temperature to make sure we're good. There we go. So the chicken is now done. And it says add 1 onion, but I have all these green onions that are gonna go bad if I don't use them now. So I am going to use green onion instead of just 1 whole onion, because that'll keep for a while. These will not. Okay, so I put some butter in there, and now we got all the onions cooking. What else does it say in this thing? So it says onion, salt and pepper, water, fresh herbs, and mace. Okay. Mace is not really something you can buy anymore, but what you can use is nutmeg if you want a milder flavor, or you can use allspice for a stronger flavor. So this is now 2 cups of water and onion. And I need a bay leaf and salt and pepper, and then to add the chicken to it. So pepper is added. I'm actually going to add Merlot salt because I'm bougie like that. So we're going to take chicken and... Oh, hold on. I got to go on the other end. That's what she said. All right, and the whole chicken. There we go. Chicken is now in there. I don't know what I'm supposed to wait for now. So bay leaf. And then allspice to substitute for the blade mace. Don't know how much of this I'm supposed to add, so that seems good enough to me. I mean, it looks good. It smells good. But I don't see how this is soup yet. Okay, I realize I have made an error. I thought it said 3 to 4 cups. It says 3 to 4 pints, which would explain why the chicken is not covered and I need to add more water. Doggos are enjoying chicken drippings and their foods. So what's gonna end up happening is that the chicken was already done and tender. So once it boils and gets to a certain point, all of this meat is gonna fall off the bone. And that is when I'm going to turn this into chicken soup. Now, if you've noticed, I've also added some celery, and that is because I'm taking some liberty with some fresh herbs, because celery seed and celery salt technically is sold as an herb, so I have added some celery into this as well as the green onion, and just wait and see how long it takes for the chicken to fall off the bone. So as you can see, the soup is bubbling and the appendages are starting to fall off. So that means the meat is starting to fall away from the bone, and I need to start separating the bones and cartilage from the soup. I feel like I have decimated this chicken carcass. I also added 4 chicken bouillon cubes because I really feel in my heart of hearts that maybe it would be better, instead of adding 3 to 4 pints of water, to add 3 to 4 pints of chicken stock now that it is more readily available. So that is what I did. I've made this into chicken stock instead of just water. And normally what I would do at this point in the chicken soup is add rice, but I feel like I should try this without that first, and just already made enough revisions to this recipe. So the chicken soup is now in the chicken soup mug, and let's try it without rice. Good soup. No, really, it's okay. I like having a little bit of carbohydrates in my soup, so I'm definitely going to be adding some rice to this. But overall, with the changes I have made, it's good soup. But yeah, definitely recommend, instead of water, adding chicken stock. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna add some rice to this and have this for dinner with the boy. So I'll see you guys in the next video. It's hot. Bye. Bye. And this is what it looks like after I add rice, and it's delicious.